Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. In light of news today about MoneyGram officially going live with xRapid using XRP as of this week, it got me thinking, what would one of the next big things be in terms of news? It got me thinking, Coinbase utilizing xRapid. So I want to talk about that conceptually. Frankly, from my perspective, I think every exchange on the planet is going to want to have a piece of xRapid in the future. So I'll talk a little bit about that. And I foresee this coming at some point. You know, the question used to be, Coinbase, when XRP? But now the question should be, Coinbase, when xRapid? And I really do think it's coming at some point. I think it's just a matter of time. Another thing that got me thinking along those lines is a piece that I'm going to cover today. It's from the website called xrprightnow.com, and apparently Coinbase has switched banks, and then there's a little bit of speculation in there as to the speed at which money moves. Is it because the bank they switched to is a member of Ripple, which apparently they actually are, but there's a little speculation as to whether or not that's the reason. I'm not sure that I buy into that, but I'm going to share the piece with you nonetheless, because it's fascinating, and this is an XRP-centric channel, and I cover the news. So there's that too. Another thing in the news, and this is always good news, got two more companies I want to report on that have officially fired up XRP validators. Stuff like this is fantastic. It just further increases decentralization for the entire XRP ledger. So I'll be covering that with you also. And for the fun of this, I wanted to cover a thread on Twitter. And it's from somebody who is presumably another Bitcoin maximalist and insists that XRP is a banker's coin. And these kind of back and forths are entertaining to me, so I wanted to share that with you. Plus, it's an opportunity to learn and strengthen your own position. If you believe that XRP is a reasonable thing to invest in, if you believe as I do that it's really factual. It's not just something to believe in. It is decentralized. If you want to be able to strengthen your case, the more facts, the better. And one of the things that I do in this channel is cover threads like this because you learn tidbits from people that you don't know you're going to pick up until you read them. And that's where I've learned most of what I learned about cryptocurrency. It sounds silly on the surface, but it's from Twitter because I learn from people that know the stuff. And then there's this chain effect. And then what I learn, I like to share with other people, and I'm continuing to learn from others as well. So I think it's fantastic. But anyway, so I'm going to cover that. And then the last thing I'll cover is news of Walmart. If you haven't heard, Walmart has announced plans to release its own cryptocurrency. Yes, Walmart. And it sounds like, from the way the article's written, it sounds like it would be somewhat like Facebook's Libra, should that coin ever see the light of day. It sounds like it would be that. It would be a stable coin. So I'll be covering all that, and before we get going, if you would please delicately tap the like button, and if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe. All right, let me talk to you just something big picture here before I start reading some of these news articles I told you about. I think that every single exchange on the planet, with very rare exception, is going to one day be linked up with Ripple's xRapid technology. It is a no-brainer. If you are an exchange, and by the way, I should clarify that. Only exchanges that have XRP, but this should, the fact that this technology exists should make you want to offer XRP on your exchange if you're currently not. And there's currently, I believe, over 130 exchanges worldwide that where you can buy and sell XRP. And I don't know how many exchanges currently are xRapid enabled. I don't think it's that many yet because it really still is early days. But as volume picks up, everybody's going to want in. And do you know why? Let me explain why, in case you don't know. This is part of the way the ecosystem works. So the exchanges are just giant pools of liquidity. Or if it's a smaller exchange, maybe it's a smaller pool of liquidity. But nonetheless, it is liquidity. And so xRapid uses an automated, efficient path-seeking algorithm. And so when you're moving money and you're converting it from one fiat currency to another fiat currency in a different country, it's completely automated. Your fiat, it is sold or is used to purchase XRP on an exchange in your country. Then it's moved to the destination country and sold to that local fiat currency, all in real time. So it's a matter of seconds, and super duper fast. And again, it's, like I said, completely automated. So what happens though, associated with, even though it's automated, so the efficient path-seeking algorithm, it's finding whatever the least costly route is to conduct the transaction. And if you're the exchange, though, you're making money on the buying and the selling of these transactions. So the more xRapid is adopted by financial institutions as they switch over to xRapid for settlement, the more money exchanges are going to make. And so while there's not a ton of volume flowing through today because this is early days, it's going to become much more appealing if you're an exchange over time to ultimately implement xRapid technology. And so I think some of the bigger ones, some of the bigger exchanges, they would reap the most benefit first. If they have the larger pools of liquidity, they'll be able to facilitate the most transactions when there is demand for it. And again, you have to grow into that first. But it gets me thinking about some of the big names like Coinbase and Binance. Now, if you don't know, Binance, by the way, CZ announced that they do plan to implement xRapid at some point in the future. He has said that publicly. That made news, and I have reported on it on this channel, which was not a surprise to me. And I even said then, I think that every exchange on the planet, if you can buy and sell XRP on the exchange, you're going to want a piece of that. And so I think for Coinbase, it's a matter of time, but it will be coming. Just mark my words. Every exchange will implement xRapid if they're buying and selling XRP. And why wouldn't you? And then what does that do for liquidity? When you see the opportunity there, you have an incentive if you're an exchange. If you're not offering XRP right now, you have an incentive to do that as you see the ecosystem evolve. So I think that we haven't seen anything yet. 2019, I don't care if you feel like you've been in this forever. Even if you were one of those people that's been in crypto for a decade, which isn't that many people, even if you could say that, this is nothing yet. You just wait. You're talking about a small market cap for the entire asset class, less than 300 billion. Yeah, you haven't seen anything yet. So it's all coming. But let me get into this piece now. And I got this from XRP Researcher. And he tweeted out, "This has been overlooked. Coinbase changed banks. They're now with Cross River Bank. Cross River Bank is the first U.S.-based bank to use RippleNet for real-time international payments between the United States and Western Europe." And here is the piece. If it would load, there we go. Cross Rivers Bank plus Coinbase plus Ripple. And then the piece reads, "Wait till you see this. We were making an XRP buy on Coinbase, and we noticed an email come through about new instructions for wire transfers." And that's on my screen right now. So if you're not driving, feel free to take a look at that if you care to do so. And then the piece continues. So we are told to make sure we follow the new instruction on the wire tab. Now we have been sending wires to Coinbase for quite some time. Usually all we have to do is log into our bank account and hit a repeat wire or use the wire information that is already on file with our bank for Coinbase, but not anymore. We notice Coinbase is now using a different bank. So what's the big deal, right? Well, we have noticed that when we buy XRP, it is available right away, and Coinbase has really sped things up and lowered their fees. We also noticed Coinbase has advertised to send money internationally for free. And then it's got screenshots of this stuff on the on the screen as well. Anyway, we wonder why. So we go to Google and search for Cross River Bank and Ripple, and look what we found out dating back to 2014. Cross River Bank to integrate Ripple for real-time international payments. And then there's a link to that as well. And states from the article, Cross River Bank will integrate the most advanced settlement infrastructure for instant, secure, compliant, and dramatically more affordable cross-border money transfer services. Cross River Bank is one of the first U.S.-based banks that will use the Ripple protocol to offer its business and personal banking customers real-time international payments between the United States and Western Europe. With Ripple, Cross River Bank will integrate the most advanced settlement infrastructure for instant, secure, compliant, and dramatically more affordable cross-border money transfer services. And now here's another quote, and read this. Ripple will help make that a reality, enabling our customers to instantly transfer funds internationally while meeting all compliance requirements and payments rules. We are excited to be amongst the very first banks in the United States to deploy Ripple as a faster, more affordable, and compliant payment rail for our customers. Coinbase is leveraging RippleNet for instant cross-border money transfers via their new bank, Cross Rivers Bank, Their old bank was Metropolitan Bank. Well, okay, any money moving back and forth, I don't know that you're seeing that as the end user, but I don't see any evidence that they're utilizing xRapid, just to be clear. If they are part of RippleNet, especially if you're talking about dating back to 2014, I don't even think xCurrent, I can't remember the release for xCurrent, but that wasn't 2014, right? So technology. So I think that they were just partners in whatever it is that they were doing. So that's why I'm skeptical of the claim made within this article. I don't know that if you're experiencing any sort of increased movement, who knows what that is, and it doesn't mean that there's real-time settlement on the back end. Most certainly not. That's a virtual certainty. That's not occurring. But even if it were just the messaging, well, okay, that's fine if that is the case. But I still don't think that you as the end user are going to be recognizing it the way in which it was described in this piece. But nonetheless, hey, it's out there. I'm here to cover stuff, but I'm going to speak my mind on it also. All right, next here. This is from dailyhodl.com. The ripple effect. 2 companies fire up XRP validators and push for decentralization. Now, one of them I knew about and I reported on, I don't know, 1 or 2 days ago probably. And it was Omni. But check out this other one I did not know about and have not reported on. And so this piece reads, 2 crypto companies are spinning up XRP validators to boost the network and further decentralize the 3rd largest crypto asset by market cap. Validators crunch the numbers to determine if transactions meet protocol requirements, allowing them to either be accepted or rejected by the network in an effort to prevent abuse and double spending. Okay, that's actually incorrect. I did want to highlight that. The part where it states, validators crunch the numbers to determine if transactions meet protocol requirements. That's absolutely not true. That's a misunderstanding of how the XRP ledger works. Validators, a better term for them would be sequencers. And that term I got from, I think it was Tiffany Hayden. I want to say it was Tiffany Hayden. If she didn't come up with it, then she was just the one that cited it. And I've been thinking of validators as sequencers ever since, because they're not validating anything, and that's why it wasn't a good choice for a name for a validator. The sequencer makes much more sense, because all they're doing really is determining the order in which transactions go through. And then there's the consensus mechanism. So, and I've already gone through how that works, so I'm not going to rehash it. But in terms of meeting protocol requirements, this and that, no, they're just sequencing the order in which transactions come through. And because if you're a validator, you could see a transaction coming in various different orders, especially because of lag time. You can imagine right there, that's enough to just cause all sorts of validators to see transactions coming in different orders, because people are in different positions on the planet. So the whole thing is, if most, I think the requirement's 80%, if 80% of the validators say, well, no, the transaction occurred this way, and the other ones, for them it just came in at a different pace, then the majority wins. The 80% wins, and so again, it's just sequencing. That's all it is. But anyway, let me continue. The Canadian crypto exchange Coinfield says it has 1 node up and running and plans to spin up more in the coming months. So here's a tweet from Coinfield now. Coinfield's XRP validator is now live. We're aiming to add more validators to support the XRP community within the next few months. Hashtag XRPL at Ripple at B. Garlinghouse, who is, of course, Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple's CEO. Coinfield is a dedicated supporter of XRP and uses the digital asset as a base pair on its exchange, with 30 coins now paired directly with XRP. And then the rest of this piece I'm not going to cover, because it's about Omni and how they launched their validator, and I did cover that the other day, so no need for me to talk on that again. But hey, Coinfield, that is new news, and it gave me an opportunity to talk about sequencers, because that's what validators should be called, right? That's what I say. All right, next piece here. This was a fun thread. I hope you guys enjoy this too when I share this with you, because I have a lot of fun with this stuff. But there's this tweet from somebody named XRP Police. And he tweeted out, and there's a document here, I don't really need to click on it, it doesn't matter. It says, this document says that Ethereum is moving to the Ripple XRP consensus protocol. What do you think? And then he tagged Galgatron, and then some other people, including Matt Hamilton. All right, hold on a second, I need a sip of water here. Okay. And so somebody named Chainlink God, at Chainlink God, responded and wrote, that is absolutely not what the document was saying. It talks about a permissioned version of Ethereum for enterprise use using proof of authority consensus. How did you get Ripple or XRP from any of this? Ethereum mainnet is moving from proof of work to proof of stake as planned. Google ETH 2.0. All right, and let me just skip down a little bit. I don't have to read all this stuff here. But where he got that is, and he states here, they mentioned consensus protocol, and then as a result, that's why he tagged XRP, use that hashtag. And so Chainlink God responded, you'd still be wrong. Ethereum is not moving to a POA or any XRP-like consensus mechanism. Ethereum would never move to a permissioned consensus algorithm anyways, wouldn't be trustless, reliable, or immutable. Okay, so that's a fallacy. I'm going to point that out right now. And I just got done talking about how validators are sequencers, and so that's what the consensus mechanism is. It's about agreeing on the order in which transactions occur. That's it. And it is decentralized. There's a bazillion nodes out there. Ripple controls almost none of them. There's no entity out there with a majority share of nodes, and so it absolutely is immutable. You cannot go there. There is no such thing as a chain reorganization within the XRP ledger. It's not possible. You can do that with Bitcoin, but there's no such thing as so you can't backtrack and undo transactions after they occur. It absolutely, literally is immutable, which is hilarious to me that he doesn't know that. And what he's claiming can be done essentially on the XRP ledger can be done on Bitcoin. And probably won't even acknowledge that, but that's the other situation. And then somebody named CryptOH responded, man, I wish you liked XRP more. You'd be the dopest page outside of Crypto Wizard. XRP for life. And then Chainlink God responded, not interested in a protocol that advertises itself as the banking coin of crypto. Yet works with no banks and got rejected by Swift. They dump billions of dollars worth of pre-mined XRP a year on XRP retail investors who think banks will buy their bags because connections. That's not even close to reality. That's not even close to reality. Oh my God. So he's saying that XRP advertises itself as the banking coin of crypto. Okay, XRP is a decentralized digital asset. It's not capable of speaking for itself. It's not capable of advertising itself. That makes no sense whatsoever. It is a digital asset, and then developers can use it for pretty much whatever they want. That's what happens. So Ripple is choosing to write software that benefits banks and then implement this digital asset with that software, xRapid specifically. That's what it is. And works with no banks. That's clearly not true. Rejected by Swift. Lord Jesus Christ. And then they dump billions. I've already talked about that. I'm not getting into the whole dumping thing. I've talked about that too much recent videos. I don't want to say it again in this video. And of course, Ripple's the idea of Ripple pre-mined XRP. XRP was not mined. Period. There was no mining. All XRP was just created at inception. And nobody thinks that banks are going to, nobody that holds XRP. Let me ask you, if you're holding XRP, if you're listening to this channel, I'm guessing, that's my guess. Do you believe that a bank is going to buy your XRP? No. No, you do not. Or else you're an idiot. Okay, I don't think anybody believes that. So he thinks that the business model is that we as retail speculators buy XRP and then banks buy it for reasons? I don't understand that. That makes no damn sense. So this is just a fun story. But anyway, Matt Hamilton responded, and he wrote, XRP doesn't advertise itself as the banking coin of crypto. XRP has nothing to do with banking. And then somebody named Mystery X responded, XRP has nothing to do with banking. And he's responding to Matt. He writes, Matt, I respect you, but do you honestly believe this to be true? It may have started as a peer-to-peer asset and be capable of many things, but it's clearly being marketed by Ripple and others as a tool for financial institutions. And Matt responded, yes, it is true. XRP has nothing to do with banking. Ripple are going after banking and financial institutions, but XRP is a cryptocurrency. That is like saying that Bitcoin is a Bannister coin because some people want an ETF out of it. Bannister? Did he mean Bankster coin? Maybe he meant Bankster, I'm guessing. That's probably a typo. Anyway. And then Chainlink God responded, XRP has nothing to do with banks. Ripple themselves disagree. And then you can see right here, here's the image that I got, and then there's banks, this and that. Okay. And again, like I cited, though, that's Ripple choosing to use a digital asset for that. If Ripple wanted to, they could use Bitcoin for the same purpose. Now, it wouldn't be a good idea as a business model because that would be very costly and Bitcoin slow, but you could do that. But XRP itself, there's nothing in the line of code that makes it a banker's coin or anything of the sort anyway. And so XRP police responded, XRP is the best currency in the world. Ripple holds lots of XRP. When Ripple show banks how to use XRP, And when Ripple build enough infrastructure for effective financial institution grade usage, the banks will buy an S-word ton of XRP. The banks don't own it. It is just worthy of their use. And I'm not convinced that banks en masse are going to buy XRP, and they don't need to during this. Some may want to, but I suspect that banks aren't going to want to do it and hold it themselves until XRP, which means cryptocurrency at large, would be less volatile, if ever, and that's still if ever. If they're ever holding XRP, it would be because they're doing it in custody of somebody else, so in that case, they don't care if the value goes up or down. But if they're holding it themselves and it's their own asset on the books, yeah, that matters to them, and banks are conservative, so I wouldn't see any bank really holding it anytime soon, not in that capacity. I could see them custodying for others, but that's about it. Anyway, but Mr. X responded, banks hate crypto at this stage. They don't like the speculation and volatility. So if Ripple defines it as a stable digital asset that's not trying to replace fiat, but would work with the system, you can see how many see this as a company controlling things to a degree. And Matt Hamilton responded, yes, banks hate crypto. Hence why Ripple's strategy of creating banking software that can operate at a lesser degree without XRP is such a good move, providing a stepping stone such that they can get a relationship going with banks and solve the precursor problems to digital asset adoption, which is absolutely true. You know, get in with XCurrent, and then as soon as it makes sense for banks to, as long as they feel like they got enough regulatory clarity, jump on board with xRapid. And we already know that the KYC and AML requirements have been met. Anyway, and then Mysterix responds to that. It is good for them, not the XRP holder at this stage. But just as easily, banks could decide against XRP for various reasons, regulatory issues being a big one, and use something else or just be comfortable with Ripple software. We'll see how it plays out. And then Matt Hamilton responds, yes, of course, it is early days. I think if everything was certain, then the price would already be a lot higher than it is right now. And I think that's a fair point to make there. Now, on the point, though, of something else being used for this, especially as it pertains to settlement, I want to say again, I haven't said it this video, but humans have not come up with another solution for instant settlement as it pertains to global, the movement of money around the world. Without Nostro accounts, there is literally technologically no other option than to use a digital asset because it has its own genuine market value. That's the key thing. You don't need trust. It's not backed by anything other than the markets. That's it. That is the key differentiator right there. And so, no, nothing else is going to come in and do this. Not a stablecoin or anything else. The stablecoin only offers a walled garden. All right, let me hop into the next piece now. This is the final thing, and then I'll wrap up the video. This is from CoinDesk. This piece is titled, Walmart wants to patent a stablecoin that looks a lot like Facebook Libra. Retail giant Walmart has applied for a cryptocurrency patent that bears some similarities to the Libra token proposed by Facebook in mid-June. In its application with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, Walmart touts the concept of a digital currency tied to a regular currency, that is, what's commonly known as a stablecoin. Libra will be a token pegged to a basket of fiat currencies and government bonds, according to Facebook. Over and above that, the filing suggests that the proposed coin could help provide finance for those with limited access to banking services, one of the major claims Facebook has made for Libra, most likely in an effort to appeal to the public and regulators over the token. Using a digital currency, low-income households that find banking expensive may have an alternative way to handle wealth at an institution that can supply the majority of their day-to-day financial and product needs, Walmart states. Facebook's offering is expected to create a system whereby its social media platforms could use Libra for payments, allowing advertisers to earn Libra and pay Facebook in the token for ads. Although it could also be used more widely in time in remittances and other use cases. Walmart's filing, too, indicates its coin could have features that apply to a token being used within the ecosystem of a high street retail company. And here's a quote now. The digital currency may be pegged to the US dollar and available for use only at selected retailers or partners. In other embodiments, the digital currency is available for use anywhere. The digital currency can provide a fee-free or fee-minimal place to store wealth that can be spent, for example, at retailers and, if needed, easily converted to cash. And that last part there in particular does make sense to me. I've talked in the past quite a bit about how I foresee the future being a very liquid world. Part of that is thanks to, a big part of it, of course, is thanks to blockchain technology. Once everything is tokenized in the world, which I think is where we are heading, you'll be able to easily get in and out of owning anything on the planet. I don't care if it's a building or a stock or whatever it may be. And already, yes, of course, you can already buy and sell real estate without blockchain. You can buy and sell stocks without blockchain. But the efficiencies that come along with that, especially with an immutable blockchain, are undeniable. And when that happens, when everything is tokenized, the world will be truly liquid. You'll be able to think about it. You could buy a stock with your real estate. That's the type of thing that we're talking about being capable of doing. And you just have to understand, of course, what the value associated with it is relative to, for instance, maybe the United States dollar. But that type of stuff can happen. Everything's going to be easily interoperable. That is the future that we're heading to here. And that's the only reason that I see perhaps that coins like these could have staying power. Because conceptually, when you talk about most of the cryptocurrencies out there, many of them have their alleged use cases or purposes for the blockchain. And maybe those blockchains could be used for said purposes, but the coin doesn't need to be used in most instances. And that's why I'm skeptical as far as it pertains to most cryptocurrencies. That's the big part of the reason I don't think most of them are going to have staying power, because they're not going to get used. But if I'm wrong, and if they are to maintain their viability, if they're not scam projects, and if the blockchains actually work, the only way that could work is in a truly liquid world. That's what would be required. But without that, there would be no sense in having a new form of currency for every type of product. Isn't that the reason we have money in the first place? So that so you don't have to do that. So I think it's all silly. But anyway, a notable difference is that users of a Walmart coin could even earn interest. The application suggests, with Libra interest earned on the scheme's potentially vast reserve funds would go to Libra partners that back the company to the tune of around $10 million. More closely applying to a commerce giant, though, Walmart says its token could store users' purchasing histories on the blockchain and then apply related savings to their subsequent purchases in a similar way to loyalty points. Other novel features suggested in the very broad filing include the ability to remove the need for credit cards and acting as a pre-approved biometric, for example, fingerprint or eye pattern, credit. A person is the credit card to their own digital value bank, the firm says. Now, you got to admit, whether or not something comes to this, that is a fascinating concept. It would be nice to not really need to hold a wallet. That's kind of cool. Anyway, unless you think that's too big brotherish, and I could respect an opinion of that caliber as well. Anyway, the token could also be used to restrict what product categories can be bought and by whom. For example, blocking minors from purchasing cigarettes, alcohol, or an R-rated DVD. Walmart is already using blockchain for tracking products like fresh greens and pharmaceuticals. It also has been investing in various use cases of the technology, with projects including connecting automated delivery drones. In June, Walmart China launched a live scheme aimed to improve the nation's poor food safety record. It also has a host of other patents applied for, including some relating to tracking packages, power supply payments, and delivery fleets. So there you have it. Walmart launching a cryptocurrency, it seems. All right. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!